all things fashion, music, art, and entertainment, keep you up on all the people and things you need to know in and around the city. In this show, we have to make a special announcement that you guys can now find us on Peach Flicks on Roku, okay? So be sure to check us out starting this week. So tune into that. And of course, we are shooting here today at the beautiful Cirque Lounge. It is a hot, sunny, sticky day, but it's beautiful. We're so glad to be here. Now today, I have some more very interesting guests to introduce you to, starting with my guy, executive producer Raheim Shabazz, as well as actress and host Chere Hemphill. And also, we're gonna have a live performance from my boy, Joey Brickhouse. But before we get into all of that, you know I gotta catch you up on everything that happened during the week, especially starting with the fact that I got to go to my first ever music festival, guys. I got to go to Bonnaroo. It was absolutely crazy. We were out there in Tennessee, and of course it's one of the most major festivals on the East Coast. So let me tell you my top 5 things that I loved about Bonnaroo, starting first of all with the camping. I'm one of those black people who have never stayed outside, but I really enjoyed it. Even though it was like 100 damn degrees outside, it was still a great time, so that was fun. Also, secondly, the music. I got to hear music from some of my favorite acts, Ellie Goulding, Miguel. We had a surprise appearance from Chance the Rapper that the crowd went completely crazy for, so the music was just everything. Thirdly, the food. There were like 100 vendors out there, and you can eat whatever your heart desired. I had my first bowl of jambalaya mixed with fried alligator. That's some awkward stuff, but it tastes just like chicken. I'm not lying to you, just a little bit more flavorful. It was delicious. The food was off the chain at the festival. Also, fourthly, I enjoyed the entertainment. There were so many weird things to get into, like the silent disco where everybody has on earphones and it looks like everybody's dancing to silence, but we can hear the music in our earphones. We also had a club out there that was called a Christmas club where you go in there and it's snowing on the outside in the middle of a field. So that kind of stuff just made my whole trip amazing. And fifth, and most enjoyable for myself, I got to meet J. Cole. He was so sweet. We're both Carolina people, so I had to whoop on that one. Also, my girl, Zoe Kravitz, who put on an amazing performance. I never saw Lola Wolf live, but they absolutely killed it. So I gotta co-sign that. If you've never seen J. Cole or Lola Wolf perform, get out there and do that, all right? So shout out to all my Bonnaroovians who enjoyed the Bonnaroo Festival this week in Tennessee. Now, moving on to entertainment, somebody who's not having such a good week, Miss Ellen DeGeneres, who you hardly ever see in any controversial headline, is actually being sued by a Georgia real estate agent who got highly offended when Ellen DeGeneres made fun of her name on her show. Now, they do these little segments called What's Up With This Ad or something like that on her show, and all it showed was that she put up an ad in the paper saying her name, and if you look at her name, it's T-I-T-I Pierce. So of course, Ellen DeGeneres, she said Titty Pierce. It was funny, it lasted 5 seconds and it was gone. But Miss T.T. Pierce did not laugh at all. She actually is suing her for defamation of character. She said she felt embarrassed and she's suffering mental distress from the taunting. So we never really took Ellen as a bully, but hey, some people take things seriously. So best wishes to you, Ellen. She done sent for you, all right? Speaking of mental distress, y'all know I hate reporting on people who are breaking up because I always hope that love wins. But if you haven't heard yet, Taylor Rivera and Waka Flocka are officially separating. And I hate that. But that's another thing that makes it kind of dangerous about us always making relationship goals with all these celebrities. We're always saying, these need to be your goals, that be your goals. You never know what people are going through. Now, we got our first inkling when she made a little post on Instagram saying, everyone you lose is not a loss, but when you lose me, you effed up. So that was the start of it going downhill. Now, it's not clear exactly what was the cause of the breakup. Of course, everybody's alleging that Waka Flocka cheated. A woman came forth and said that she was the one that Waka Flocka cheated with, but Tammy clarified that it was not any one person that separated them. They just decided to go separate ways. However, she did let everybody know that she will still clap back for Waka Flocka. So even with them being separated, don't come for Waka to Miss Tammy, all right? Now, finally, if you guys are wanting to find anything to do in Atlanta for this summer, because there's so many things to do and you don't know where to look, be sure to check out Atlanta.net. That's where I find a lot of my festivals, a lot of the events and festivities that are going on in Atlanta. So if you guys are looking for anything to do, go to Atlanta.net. All right? So we'll be right back with some really dope interviews, more Molo in the City. up, city people, and welcome back to Molo in the City podcast. Right now, I am chilling with executive producer of Elementary Genocide, my guy, Raheim Shabazz. Now, first of all, the title itself is so capturing. Because, I mean, you could have called it a lot of different things, but Elementary Genocide is such a scary, daunting title. Like, what reactions do you get from people just even seeing that as a name of your film?
Well, initially, people, they have that aha moment where they be like, wow, is that really the title?
Yeah.
And it intrigues them to go and watch it. But when you look at the etymology of the word elementary, you see element. And then when you look at elements, you know, the four periodic charts, you know, the elements. So, and then you see the word El. You know, El in Hebrew means God.
Definitely.
You know, and genocide is destruction or killing of a group or race of people. So in all actuality, it's a systematic plan to kill off a race or a group of people.
Definitely. Well, what do you say to people who say that that's almost an extremist point of view? If they say, because they might be like, okay, maybe the school system is against young black kids or something like that, but to say genocide, to almost imply that they're actually killing them, why would you say that that's not an extreme claim to make?
Well, you know, initially a lot of people were saying, oh, this sounds like an urban myth. Oh, they can't be doing this. This is not true. And, you know, I started the first documentary in 2010. I didn't put it out into 2013. But 2 years later, President Obama, in his State of the Union speech, he spoke about the school-to-prison pipeline. And people was actually calling me, oh, he's talking about your documentary. And I don't think, you know, per se he was talking about my documentary. But that's when people really notice and say, you know what, this is real.
How serious the matter is.
Yeah, something is going on here. And just last week, the United States Justice Department released a report that's saying, you know, in the documentary, we talk about how the school-to-prison pipeline begins in the 3rd grade. You know, that's where they're able to track it. But we know that it begins the first day that African-American or Latino youth steps foot inside a preschool. It starts as early as preschool. So, it's a phenomenon that needs to be addressed. A lot of people are addressing it. They have a lot of legislative that has been passed. Some are still pending. And I think
I've heard you had almost 100 different pieces of legislature passed since the film has come out.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And I want to take part credit for that, you know, because, you know, we have been a bestseller on Amazon, and I have toured the country and the world over promoting this film.
That's awesome. What does that mean for you to have the president co-sign or even to recognize something so serious? Because a lot of times with our politicians, we feel like we're not being represented. We feel like they're not talking about the matters that are not so high, because this isn't really a thing that all of America necessarily knows about nor cares about, but it affects our community so heavily. So to have the president address something that affects specifically his community, he has to be bold enough to do that. Because even being a black president, you really can't just cater to black people. So a lot of times politicians walk on eggshells, but for him to even address such a serious matter, like, how did that feel to you?
Well, let me address something that you said. To be a black politician, you can't really address black issues. You actually can. You know, you just gotta have the courage and the fortitude to do it. And say the hell with racism and white supremacy. But we know our current president, he doesn't do that. But you know, when I first heard about him saying it, I was like, okay, you know, hopefully they don't use this as a cliche and politicize it and make it a political thing. But then one of the participants that's in the documentary, his name is Tracy Safax. And he was nominated as the champion of change for 2014, right? Because of his work in the community and also helping returning citizens, those that was formerly incarcerated. So when he won that award and was nominated for it, they put out a press release on the actual White House website. And that's when they mentioned the documentary by name, and that's when I said, okay, now I got their ear. So yeah, I felt that what I was doing was not in vain.
Right. So what are some of the examples or some of the fundamental things that contribute to the elementary genocide? What are some of the things that maybe you could pinpoint within the school system that are attributing to this epidemic that we have?
I could pinpoint several things. I'll just give you two real quick. One of them is the zero tolerance laws.
Right.
You know, they have a law where it's called willful defiance. You know, and when you say willful defiance, that could be anything from you rolling your eyes to sucking your teeth. You know, that doesn't mean that you wasn't gonna comply with what was being asked of you.
And just the fact that you're showing any kind of opposition.
Yeah. And these laws are written, you know, arbitrarily, and they're biased. And more so than anything is the teachers are culturally and racially biased to a lot of these youth. Whenever you have a situation where over 75% of the workforce is predominantly white and Caucasian, well, predominantly white and female, and you're teaching African and Latino youth, there's going to be a problem.
Right.
So that's one. And then another one is the disparity, you know, in the way they sentence or suspend African American youth.
Yeah.
You know, are 3 times more likely than their white counterparts. And then another thing is when we deal with females, black females are 6 times more likely to be suspended or imprisoned than white females.
Wow.
Yeah, it has been an 80% increase, 800% increase since 1980.
My goodness.
Yeah.
So what are some of the steps towards reversal? Because at this point, we know what started it. We know what it's doing to the community. But what are some of the things that we're putting in place that you guys are trying to practice in order to kind of rectify this, to make it better?
Our children, they don't drop out of school until parents drop out of their lives.
Wow.
And when parents drop out of their lives, what happens is, you know, they go to the streets. And when you into the streets, you know, the streets will kidnap you, the streets will raise you, and then they'll send
But they say
you.
them streets don't love you.
Absolutely. And then they'll send you back to your parents to to bury you.
Definitely.
And that's what we witnessing with elementary genocide, academic holocaust.
Right here, yep.
Yep, academic
3.
holocaust. And that's going to be dealing with not only the assassination of the mind, but the killing of the bodies in the street.
That's so dope. So if somebody wants to participate or wants to do something to encourage this, how can they get in touch with you? How can they get affiliated with the program? Like,
You can go to elementarygenocide.com. You also can follow me on social media at Raheim Shabazz, and that's on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and I'm even on Snapchat.
I'm on Snapchat. That must be new because he got real excited. I'm even on Snapchat.
Yeah, I'm even on Snapchat. My son told me to get on it, so I had to do it.
That's what's up. Well, this is definitely an important matter. So thank you so much for bringing light to it. Thank you for coming and joining us on the show today.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. We hope to hear more. You guys, please check out this film. This is a very influential and affluential film. I want you guys to definitely check this out. We'll be right back with more Molo in the City. What's up, everybody, and welcome back to Molo in the City podcast. I am sitting here with actress Miss Chere. Hemphill, how you doing? Good, girl. How are you? I'm doing good. You're looking all fabulous. Can we talk about how she's looking in this green and white hair?
But thank you very much. Shout out to Rutherford Hall. She is my sponsor for all of my wardrobe.
You did that, Holla.
Check her out.
So silly. Now I know you have a pretty background in doing.
Oh my gosh! So I've done Tyler Perry, House of Pain, season 4, way early when it first started. I've done a lot of independent films in Atlanta. Last tour with the play, got pleaded my case, and I've actually just shot the ID channel Investigation Discovery with Hunter's Homicide. So it's the whole Fatal Attraction series, all the reenactments. So I'm excited about that. Season 6.
So when you acting and stuff like that, and you know that happens in real life, how is it? Like when you're acting it, but you have to keep in mind that, especially on ID channel, oh, this stuff they be like portraying. This is stuff that really happens. So
It's
how
real.
is that when you know that you're imitating some real life craziness?
Reading the script, you put yourself there.
Identify with
And I'm like, oh my gosh, like, why would you do this, chick? Like, you're like in the middle of a love triangle. And it's like, what you did that for? Now you caught somebody in your life. So it was hard because you're worried about those people that it really happened to. So yeah.
Well, Well, even in working in different things, because you got that's like the investigation TV.
Yeah.
Then you said you also work with Tyler Perry.
Work with Tyler Perry.
Which I can imagine you are just laughing on set the whole day. I feel like comedy shows have to be the hardest thing to shoot, because how do you refrain from laughing?
It depends on who your director is.
Okay.
Now, on Meet the Browns, let me tell you, because on House of Pain, Kim Fields is my director.
Okay.
And it was no joke. Like, she's about her business. When that camera is rolling, honey, the giggles gone.
Really?
So, yeah, it was not as fun. I'm going to say that.
Kim is the taskmaster.
It's hilarious. So, I enjoy every bit of it.
So what's your preference as an actress when you're doing a show, when you're doing a movie? Like, do you have a certain genre that you most relate to that you would rather do?
No, I'm goofy by nature.
You gotta give me your best killer face. I need a really intense killer. Yeah, you gotta be. I need you to embrace the killer face.
Can't even do it.
I love it. That was intimidating.
And then you can get it.
That was intimidating. It's okay. A for effort.
But see, you see how challenging that is for me? Like, I cannot kill somebody.
But other than that, I know aside from acting and hosting, you also are an ambassador for Walk Fashion Show. Shout out to Walk. We love you guys. Hey, Deshaun. So how'd you get linked with them?
You know what? I hosted a red carpet for them.
Mm-hmm.
And from there, he reached out and asked me to be the ambassador for Georgia as we begin to like bridge Georgia and embrace Walk here.
Yeah.
And it has been challenging and exciting all at the same time.
Yeah.
I enjoy people. I love people. So recruiting ambassadors and just making Walk known in Georgia is easy for me. I'm excited the fact that they highlight independent designers and that is their goal.
Yes.
You know, so connecting community with that is just like, it's awesome. And I love the way that Atlanta has embraced them. You know,
They
to
have.
get 1,400 models at a casting
Their
call.
shows
Like,
are huge. We've covered them a couple of times going out to
Yes.
Walk Fashion shows, and their shows are wall to wall.
yes.
I heard you're walking.
I'm walking in the opening. You know,
Let me find out you're a model too.
opening. Well, I used to model back in the day.
Did you really?
And then I gained some hips, girl.
Hey, ain't no wrong with hips now. That you in Atlanta, we can have hips now.
Atlanta, but you know, on the runway, they don't want them hips. They don't want them.
Modeling is changing now, though. You see so much.
Not in New York.
Well,
Not in New York.
you
not in
might be
Atlanta.
right. But you know, like even on the magazines now, they highlighting like some of the full-figured women that you would never see. Like Sports Illustrated had my girl who was like on a heavy set, stuff like that.
You
So
gotta be really curvy.
that's the only thing. You gotta be one extreme or the other. Like
Yes.
there's no in between girls up
Either
in there.
him hump or not.
Or no. That's what's up.
So I'm excited about Walk Fashion and where it's going. So
Yeah.
that is a blessing. And that came about from my show Say Something. I shot Say Something and from
Talk
there,
about that.
It's like, hey, come out and host this and host that because Say Something is a movement.
Okay.
And I started because it's a platform for everyday people.
Okay.
People feel like if you don't have a following or you're not on TV for 2 minutes, then you don't have a purpose in life. But
That really is the mentality. You summed up the mentality right there. Seriously. Have you ever wanted to produce or do a show yourself?
ooh, I did produce Say Something.
You produced that one?
Yeah.
Girl, you better
I
work.
wrote it, I produced it and I hosted.
That's what's
I was
up.
trying to be on Tyler Perry-ish.
Hey, there's room for more than one up there at the top, girl. So when you're doing a film like that, what do you, as a producer, when you have to pick out your actors and stuff like that, what do you look for? Because there's so many people in Atlanta that are trying to be actors, they're up and coming, they're aspiring, but like coming from somebody who actually has done castings and stuff like that, what do you look for in your actors?
I look for passion.
Oh, that's important.
Yeah, you want to make sure that somebody just doesn't, you didn't wake up today and say, I want to be an actress. Like, there's dues you have to pay. Are you out here auditioning?
Yeah.
Whether it's for a big show or a small show, you know? Well, it's passion behind that.
Definitely.
So that's what I look for.
That's what's up. So what do you have coming up? What's next for you, Miss Chere? What's next?
Next, after I leave here, I'm headed to support. I'm a big supporter, so I'm headed to support Tina B's fashion show. And I just finished up the AAMBC Awards last night. That was fabulous. And of course, my life as an actress is audition. That's what I do for a living.
That's what's up. So if somebody wants to follow you, keep up with all your stuff you got going on, how can they get in touch with you?
Come on, it's Chere for sure. Everywhere. CHERE, the number 4, sure. Everywhere.
Thank you so much for coming, Miss Chere. Hopefully,
Thank you.
Chere. I'm glad you corrected it.
what?
It looks like Chere.
Do you see the little accent? Like,
Oh,
give me my
accent credit. Next time I write that way, put some respect on her name.
Put some respect.
Chere.
Shadi.
Yes. I like that. Well, Shadi, hopefully we get to see you on the 25th at Walk Fashion
Oh, yeah,
Show.
you're going to be there. You got to make it happen.
Harlem. We'll be right back with more Molo in the City. All right, city people, and right now we have a Molo in the City exclusive performance from Mr. Joey Brickhouse. Be Somebody.
It's high time that I progress. Heart is numb, soul feels all the sadness, and it's too much to just regret. But if you want what you deserve, go grab it. Don't be scared, just know you're destined to have it. Just be strong, stand tall, you'll win through it all. Say these words to your reflection like magic. Tell yourself I don't wanna be in nobody. Just tell yourself I don't wanna be in nobody. Just tell yourself I don't wanna be in nobody. In this world that we live in, living with nothing. Just tell yourself I don't wanna be in nobody. Just tell yourself I don't wanna be in nobody. Just tell yourself I don't wanna be in nobody. In this world that we live in, living with nothing.
And that's a wrap, city people. Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of Molo in the City podcast. Of course, I have to give a big thank you to everybody who participated. Starting off with our guests. Thank you so much, Chere, Hemphill. Thank you to Raheim, Shabazz. Thank you so much to Joey Brickhouse for the dope performance. Also, shout out to my stylist, Christian Danielle, as well as my girl, cool fat chick, Miss Sade. Shout out to my whole Molo in the City staff. You know I couldn't do it without you. Also, shout out to Cirque Lounge for this beautiful venue. It's hot as hell, but we made it work. Beautiful venue. Thank you so much for having us. Also, shout out to Dragon Tattoo. And if you guys haven't heard, we are going to be on Peachflix. So be sure to go ahead and get your streaming service, Roku, and find us on peachflix.com, okay? Also, shout out to Scales925 and all of you beautiful viewers. Now, you guys be sure to follow us on all of our social media. Go to Molo in the City podcast on Instagram, Molo in the City on Facebook, and be sure to subscribe to our YouTube, Molo in the City podcast, all right? You guys tune in next week. We're praying for Orlando. We love you. See you next week on Molo in the City podcast.